Tonight, breaking developments as we come on the air. The urgent warning right now in Puerto Rico. They are bracing for a major dam to collapse, telling tens of thousands to seek higher ground immediately. And the new storm models tonight showing the track of Hurricane Maria once again closer to the east coast of the U.S. We have the timing tonight and the possible paths. Also breaking tonight, a major blow to the effort to kill Obamacare. Once again, John McCain and his decision late today. Jimmy Kimmel then tweeting him. And tonight, the two key senators who could make or break this bill, where they stand right now. The stunning moment now days after the earthquake. The person pulled from the rubble alive. North Korea tonight and their new warning responding to President Trump, now promising an H-bomb in the Pacific. And breaking now, the hostage situation unfolding at this hour inside a bank. Several reportedly trapped inside.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Friday night. And we begin with that urgent headline from Puerto Rico at this hour. A dam at imminent risk of failure. Officials calling it a life-threatening situation. A mass evacuation underway right now. Some 70,000 people across the island. Catastrophic flooding and mudslides already. The governor saying, quote, it's time to get people out. We begin with ABC's Rob Marciano on the scene with that warning right now to get tens of thousands to higher ground. Rob?
David, a potentially disastrous development happening here in Puerto Rico. A large dam is beginning to fail. 2 towns and tens of thousands of people are in danger downstream. A flash flood emergency in effect right now. Officials urging people to get to high ground. This is a life-threatening situation happening right now.
Tonight, the new emergency in this unfolding disaster. The battering of Hurricane Maria entered 40 inches of rain, causing this major dam's failure. Flash flooding now forcing 70,000 people to evacuate immediately. Officials saying a crack is forming in the Guayataca Dam. Authorities with a stark warning, people's lives are in danger. Utter devastation being felt throughout the U.S. territory. The chaos and desperation painfully etched into caregiver Maria Ortiz's voice.
We can't let them die. We can't let them die. And we need help, all the help we can get, please.
We first met her Thursday as she struggled to keep 11 nursing home patients alive, their generator low on fuel.
Now I see when that generator runs out.
What's we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Those patients in sweltering conditions inside, some clinging to life. When we returned today, help had not arrived. The generator out of fuel, power gone. It's been 20 hours since we called the governor's office on Maria's behalf. Calling again today, we have trouble getting through. And we're not alone. Communication nearly impossible across the island. Drivers lined up here as far as the eye can see to access one of the only working cell phone towers.
That's my mother.
Maria hasn't seen or heard from her mother since before the hurricane hit. Some relief knowing her parents are okay. Then, the son of one of Maria's patients shows up with the diesel the care center desperately needs.
About how long does a tank last?
8 hours.
Another temporary fix. Elation with knowing there's enough fuel to at least get through the night.
And Rob Marciano is back with us tonight from Puerto Rico. And Rob, we're so glad to see that nursing home at least got some fuel today. We'll stay on that. In the meantime, the other major concern you just reported on that dam, tens of thousands told to get to higher ground immediately.
Yeah, dangerous situation. So much so the governor cut his press conference short to head out there with the military. They're using choppers and military vehicles to try to get people out right now. It's going to be a dangerous night ahead, David.
All right, I know you're going to stay on that, Rob. In the meantime, the models, the possible paths for Hurricane Maria as it then moves toward the east coast. And, you know, they really seem to shift night to night, Rob.
And we didn't give the U.S. the all clear. Now they're shifting a little bit closer to home. Right now it's a Cat 3. It will weaken as it gets a little farther north. It will be a Cat 1 by Wednesday, but just abreast of North Carolina. The forecast cone getting close to the U.S. and our spaghetti models a little bit more spread out. Some uncertainty, and there could be some direct impacts from Maria in the U.S. by the end of next week. We'll keep an eye on it. David?
Rob Marciano on the ground in Puerto Rico again tonight. Rob, thank you. And to Mexico City at this hour. Now, days after that earthquake and the cheers erupting at a factory that came down during the earthquake. ABC's Matt Gutman in Mexico City with the moment that another person was found alive.
Tonight in Mexico City, amidst the flattened buildings, there are spikes of hope. Cheers erupting at this flattened factory where overnight another person was found alive. Those rescues dangerous, as we saw firsthand. Debris crashing down around us.
Oh, watch it, watch it, watch it.
Moments later, officials clearing the scene, fearing another building collapse. We joined the LA County Fire Search and Rescue team at this pancaked office building, gearing up for a grim search.
The fire rescue team says that those 6 stories collapsed so densely that there's no void space, and the concern is that nobody could have survived that.
And just yards from the rubble, under these tarps, the families of the dozen or so missing prayed. It was after those prayers that we met Fabiola. Her brother, Angel Sandoval, is in that building. She showed us around this tent where the families had been living for the past 4 days. They're all there, cousins, siblings, friends. And then that call for silencio, silence.
Okay, so now they've called for silence because that's when they try to listen to something in the rubble. These are the moments of hope in a place like this.
She told us that they need to show strength, but after 4 days, even iron will can snap.
She says her brother's very strong.
And everywhere, solidarity for Mexico. On the rubble of this building, a salute to the Mexican national anthem.
And Matt Gutman with us again tonight from Mexico City, the scene of that apartment building. And Matt, you're hearing they're now bringing in a crane to lift up sections of the building.
That's right, David. That crane is going to begin lifting layers of that building where you see that swarm of rescuers, which is a sign that this could turn from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. Now, for days, we've been asking Mexican officials for a list of the missing, but in the scope of this devastation, they say they still don't have one. David.
Matt Gutman, who's been on the scene for us all week. Matt, thank you. The major headline back here at home tonight, a major blow in the new effort to kill Obamacare. And it comes from the same senator who killed the repeal the last time. Senator John McCain declaring he will vote no. ABC's Mary Bruce tonight with the 2 key senators left who will likely make or break this repeal. Where do they stand tonight?
It's been just 8 weeks since the country watched John McCain walk onto the Senate floor, shocking his own party with this defiant thumbs down. His vote delivering the final blow to the president's attempt to repeal and replace Obamacare. Tonight, with one more chance at a repeal before next week's deadline, John McCain is stunning the party again, announcing today he cannot, in good conscience, vote the latest Republican plan. He says a bill of this impact requires a bipartisan approach. McCain might have just killed this new repeal because Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes. Rand Paul has already said no. And McCain did this even though his own best friend in the Senate, Lindsey Graham, is one of the architects.
I don't expect him to vote because we're friends. I expect him to vote for what he thinks best for the country.
The bill would give states more flexibility to craft their own health coverage, but with far less federal funding and with no guarantee of how they would cover Americans with pre-existing conditions. Experts say it could leave millions more without insurance. All eyes are now on 2 key senators, Senator Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. Collins tonight is leaning no.
I just have to do what I think is right for the people of Maine and for our country. And if I don't do that, then I can't look at myself in the mirror.
And outside Murkowski's office in Anchorage, protesters camped out, urging her to oppose this bill like she did the last time.
I said in January we should not repeal without a replacement, and just an indefinite hold on this just creates more chaos and confusion.
And Mary Bruce back with us live tonight from Washington. And Mary, Jimmy Kimmel, whose own baby boy needs several operations. Kimmel has said he's now fighting for other families to have that kind of coverage if they're in the same situation. He tweeted Senator McCain today.
Yeah, David, Kimmel today with a tweet of praise saying, "Thank you, John McCain, for being a hero again and again and now again." And John McCain's wife, Cindy, responded, tweeting, "Thank you for the kind words about my husband, and God bless your sweet baby." David.
All right, all eyes on Senators Collins and Murkowski as we head into the weekend. Mary, thank you again. Meantime, next to the new threat from North Korea tonight. Kim Jong-un saying President Trump will, quote, pay dearly for his speech at the UN. And tonight, North Korea now warning of, quote, the biggest ever hydrogen bomb test in the Pacific. Here's ABC's Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz tonight.
Tonight, a dramatic escalation of tensions. North Korea now threatening to test a hydrogen bomb above the Pacific Ocean. Their response to President Trump.
The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea.
For months, the president's heated language has so far failed to stop Kim. 3 missile tests and an underground H-bomb test, since Trump warned of fire and fury. But detonating a nuclear bomb over the Pacific would be Kim's most provocative move yet.
A hydrogen bomb, a thermonuclear weapon, is going to have lots of radiation. If that hits the water, there's going to be contamination for hundreds of miles around.
On GMA, David continued to press Secretary of State Rex Tillerson about the U.S. response.
But if we see this detonation of an H-bomb in the Pacific, what will the U.S. do?
Well, we will continue our efforts in the diplomatic arena, but all of our military options, as the president has said, is on the table.
The two leaders themselves trading a volley of insults. Kim, for the first time, responding directly to President Trump, calling him mentally deranged. The president branding the North Korean dictator a madman who will be tested like never before.
And Martha, you and I have both been talking to Colonel Steve Ganyard. He makes the point that the North Koreans have done everything they said they would do, and now they're talking about testing a hydrogen bomb in the Pacific. Do your sources believe they have the capability to pull that off?
Well, David, they've already tested a hydrogen bomb. They have tested an intercontinental ballistic missile. We don't know for sure whether they can arm an ICBM with a bomb, but this has to be taken seriously. This would be an extraordinarily alarming and dangerous move, and the administration would almost certainly have to rethink what it is doing, David.
All right, Martha Raddatz tracking the situation with North Korea every step of the way. Thank you, Martha. President Trump responding tonight after Facebook revealed thousands of ads were bought by Russian agents during the election, ads that praised Donald Trump or attacked Hillary Clinton. Mark Zuckerberg saying he will turn those ads over to Congress now. Today, President Trump tweeting, the Russia hoax continues. Now it's ads on Facebook. We turn next tonight here to your money, taxpayer money spent on flights on private jets. Another cabinet secretary under scrutiny for his travel habits. Health and Human Services Chief Tom Price taking private jets dozens of times, even on short trips from D.C. to Philadelphia. ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega tonight with the price tag, how much you've spent already.
Tonight, Health Secretary Tom Price under investigation for dozens of official government trips on luxury private planes.
The American people need to know that their tax dollars are being spent wisely.
As a congressman, Price once tweeted, Congress doesn't need to have private jets. But now, according to Politico, his penchant for private planes has cost taxpayers more than $300,000. Last week alone, on a luxury jet like this, he took 5 flights. One of them, a short 30-minute round trip to Philadelphia. The cost, at least $10,000, compared to about $700 for a commercial flight.
It's just not right. It's just not right.
Today, in a scathing letter, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee tells Price the amount of taxpayer funds you spent on just one single flight is more than some of my constituents make in a year.
And I just say to the Secretary, Mr. Secretary, you can do better. And you need to set the example for the entire administration.
At least 3 Trump cabinet secretaries now under investigation for expensive travel on the public dime. Tonight, ABC News has learned that after one meeting with the president at Trump Tower, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin flew back to Washington on an Air Force jet, costing taxpayers at least $25,000. An official trip on a government jet to Kentucky, where Mnuchin and his wife viewed the eclipse, is also under review, on top of Mnuchin's request to have a government plane fly him and his wife to their overseas honeymoon, a request he ultimately withdrew.
Cecilia Vega joins us from Washington tonight. And Cecilia, Secretary Price, Secretary Mnuchin, both under new scrutiny this evening. How are they responding tonight?
Well, David, Mnuchin's office tells us that they welcome this investigation. Price's office says that he uses these private planes, quote, in order to accommodate his demanding schedule. They say he has taken commercial flights. But, David, you heard those Democrats. They are calling this a millionaire mindset.